It's no secret that gaming is starting to become a pretty expensive hobby, especially if you are a Nintendo Switch fan. So I decided to go through the hundreds of games that are on sale right now to pick out 20 incredible Nintendo Switch games you don't want to miss out on this sale. And the best part is a ton of the games that I'm going to mention today are on sale for $15 or less. So hopefully there'll be a game for just about everybody. And buckle up because we're going to be going through this list pretty fast to get through all of the games. First up is Animal Crossing. Now, this is currently only on sale on the European eShop for 33% off. However, if you go on Amazon, you'll find that they often price check. And I did have a look, and you can currently pick this up for $48. And if you are somehow one of the few people on this planet who have not given Animal Crossing New Horizons a go, this is your sign. This right here is not only one of my favorite games of all time on the Nintendo Switch, it's also my comfort game. And I have nearly 3,000 hours in it so far and regret nothing. I feel like there have been so many games coming out that try and capture the magic of Animal Crossing, but to this day, I don't think anyone has done better than it. Next up is Paper Mario: The 1,000-Year Door. This is the same deal as Animal Crossing. This is currently only on sale on the Europe eShop for 33% off. However, I had a look on Amazon and this is also on sale for $49.99 US. This to me was one of the best games to have come out on the Nintendo Switch in 2024. And this has all of your classic Mario characters in a way you have never seen them before. Their dialogue is hilarious. Everyone is so sassy and so witty, and it mixes together a great story with really solid turn-based battle mechanics in this really cool 2D world. Again, this is another game up there as some of the best games to have come out on the Nintendo Switch of all time, so I definitely recommend it. Next up is Moonstone Island, and despite the fact that this is a farming sim, it really feels like a fresh and new experience, as this kind of mixes monster catching mechanics with being a life sim, and we'll see you play as an aspiring alchemist who sets off to complete their alchemy training by moving to a brand new town and helping out its people. This has everything that I love from a monster catching game, with really engaging turn-based combat and also the equivalent to shiny hunting. But I also love the fact that this not only has a purpose with quests for you to do and plenty of mysteries to uncover, but also wonderful villagers to get to know and love, and even a place to call home. And for this price, you'll get a lot of game time out of it, as there is plenty to do. Speaking of value for money, next up is Persona 5 Royale. Not only does this have an incredible story, turn-based combat that's so fun to master, but this is also partly a Tokyo life sim. As in this, you'll play as a young schoolboy. And although by day he attends school, makes friends, and studies hard to pass his exams, by night he becomes a phantom thief, whose job it is to enter corrupted people's minds to try and change their heart, which will involve you going through these giant dungeons in search of the boss. And in this, you get to control absolutely everything. Like, not only can you control the battles themselves and level up each of the characters, but you also get to control everything you do outside of battles, with you deciding how to spend your free time. Like, for example, do you go and study? Do you get a part-time job to make some money? Or do you take on the corrupt people and try and change their hearts? All of it is completely up to you. Next up is Balatro, and not only was I absolutely obsessed with this last year, but it's still a game I go back to even today. And for this price, I don't think you're gonna find anything better. But I will say, this is a very hard game to explain and make it sound good, so this is your sign to just go and try it and see for yourself. So essentially, this is a roguelike deck builder that will see you play poker hands to try and score enough points to move on to the next round. Where things get interesting though is at the end of each round, you can use the money that you've earned to upgrade your deck. And this can be anything from buying new cards or jokers which have special abilities, like for example being able to increase the points you get from playing a card with clubs. And that, combined with all the different items that you can acquire, can make for a really powerful deck. And the goal essentially is to make it as far as you can with each of the rounds getting harder. It's one of those games where you just tell yourself, oh, I'll just do one more round and then I'll go to sleep. And next thing you know, it's 3 a.m. Next up is Ooblets, and this is a game I've been talking about for many years because it's just that good. This is a mix of monster collecting, farming sims, and even internet troubleshooting. It really does have it all. And in this, you can catch and take care of little creatures named Ooblets, which are absolutely adorable, and you can use them to dance battle your way through each of the towns to try and repair their internet. One thing I really like about Ooblets is that the farming sim mechanics make sense. It's not just thrown in there, because in order for you to catch the Ooblets to add them to your own team, you first need to present them with a snack which you grow on your farm. And if you give them the right snack, then you'll be able to dance battle them and capture them. This is another one of those feel-good games, and one I just will never stop recommending, especially for a price like this. Next up is Dave the Diver. Now, in theory, this has a pretty simple gameplay loop. You jump into an ocean, you float around and catch some fish, which you then send to the local sushi restaurant, which you'll work at each evening to try and make some money. You can then use whatever profit you have to go and upgrade your equipment, to swim deeper, catch more and rarer fish, and try and make even more money. And the game will constantly feed you brand new gameplay mechanics to make sure it feels fresh and not grindy. But the thing that takes this from being a good game to a great game is the fact that it's filled with story-based quests to give your fishing a purpose beyond just the restaurant. And each of the people you come across have so much character. Now, the thing I personally love the most with Dave the Diver is running my very own restaurant, as you get to do everything from designing the menu, leveling up the different dishes, but you're also in charge of things like hiring the staff, spending money, and even decorating it. This was a game I never expected to like as much as I did, so I'm very glad I gave it a go. Next up, we have Neva, which is currently on sale for less than you can buy it on Steam right now. This is an absolutely breathtaking game that follows the story of Alba, a young woman who, after a traumatic encounter with a dark force, winds up bound to an adorable wolf cub. And this will follow their journey through a once beautiful world that now decays around them. And over time, you get to see not only them grow, but also their relationship. And together they have to do whatever it takes to survive and make a brand new home. This is one of those games that doesn't need a single word for you to understand what's going on and feel so many emotions. Now, this was made by the same developers who made Grizz, and you can most definitely see that as you progress through the game. And even though it's a little bit more combat heavy than Grizz was, it still has all of the elements that made Grizz spectacular. Oh, and by the way, Grizz is also on sale if you haven't checked that out yet. Next up, we have the Cosmic Wheel Sisterhood. I'm such a sucker for a good visual novel, and this is up there as one of my favorites, because the Cosmic Wheel Sisterhood is truly such a wild ride. In this, you play as Fortuna, a witch exiled to a random asteroid for 1,000 years, who makes friends with an entity called a behemoth in search of a way out. The issue is, the pact that they form together is also a forbidden one, and you'll follow the story of Fortuna as she regains her freedom, reconnects with old friends, all whilst having the entire fate of the witch society in her hands. You see, Fortuna has the ability to read someone's fate with her tarot cards, cards which you get to design and make and decide the way in which you interpret them to define the narrative of the entire game. There is absolutely no chance you'll predict the story in this at all, and I love how some of the choices are really obvious ones in what the effects will be, and others you'll have no idea what you've caused. Then next up, we have Spiritfarer. I will always shout from the rooftops when this is on sale, as it is absolutely spectacular. This is a fantastic yet heartbreaking game that sees you play as a Spiritfarer tasked with helping spirits to the other side, but not before you help them deal with any of their unfinished business before they have to go. But with whatever time you have to spend with them, you'll get to learn all about their life and their story, whilst you also explore the ocean for resources to try and upgrade your boat. But the strength in Spiritfarer is its storytelling, and this can be truly felt with how hard it is to say farewell to some of your favorite spirits. Next up, we have Papertrail, which is by far the cheapest game on today's list. Now, this is a game that will break your brain in the best way possible. You see, Papertrail is a puzzle game with a little bit of a difference, as you will solve all of the puzzles by folding the pages of the paper in front of you. And your job is to help Paige, a budding academic, leave home for the very first time to pursue her studies. Now, this is one of those puzzle games where it takes your brain a little bit of getting used to try and think in the right way. But the good thing is, not only does it introduce the mechanics slowly to help you get used to them, but if you get really stuck, there's also an in-game hint system that will take you through the solutions bit by bit until finally giving you the answer if you're really stuck. Not only is this game absolutely beautiful, it also performs wonderfully on the Switch. And although the controls work great with a controller, you can also, in handheld mode, use the touchscreen as well, which I think is the best way to play it. Next up, we have Dredge. Now, this is a fishing adventure with a wonderfully creepy undertone. And even though I'm not much of a horror gal myself, this is something I very much enjoyed, albeit during the day and not at night. The game starts you off with being washed up on a strange island, where a mysterious yet generous mayor lends you a boat so you can make a living trawling fish around the sea. But it really isn't long before you find out that things around here aren't quite right. Every now and again, you pull out mutated fish from the water, there's shipwrecks littering every coast that you pass, and should it get dark when you're out in the ocean, you might find yourself in a little bit of trouble. Now, the normal response to all of this would be to run away as far as you can, but not in Dredge. As in this, you decide to unravel the mystery by yourself, trawling across the ocean to each of the different areas, which are not only filled with new wildlife and new islands, but also new locals for you to talk to, each with stories that will help you figure out what on earth is going on. And despite the fact that this does have some pretty sinister undertones, the gameplay loop is a lot of fun and very rewarding, and that's what kept me coming back for more. Next up is a completely different vibe, and that's a little to the left. Now, this is a great puzzle game because not only is it very relaxing, it's also so satisfying, as the puzzles themselves are based around organizing and stacking everyday household objects. Oh, and also with the addition of occasional cat appearances. One of my favorite parts about this, though, is that some of the puzzles have multiple solutions, meaning that you'll have to think in completely different ways to try and find each of the other solutions. Next up is Cult of the Lamb. And this is half roguelike, half cult management. And this was my first stepping stone in to roguelike games. You see, in order to keep your cult members happy, well-fed, and listening to your every command, you'll need to venture out of the safety of your own cult to take on the non-believers. And as you fight, you'll be able to find not only food for your cult members, but also brand new cult members for you to indoctrinate. Now, even though I really enjoyed getting to grips with the battling, it was the cult management that was my favorite. I really loved the fact that you could build furniture, decorate, and assign each of the cultists a job for them to do. Also, if you are worried about the combat, there is a easier setting as well, so you don't have to worry about it so much. But this is a really great game at a fantastic price. Next up, we have Hades. Now, I thought I'd mention that this is on sale in case you saw Hades 2 in the Switch 2 Direct and it piqued your interest. This has to be one of the best indie games of all time. And if you haven't heard of Hades before, then it's a godlike roguelike dungeon crawler, or at least that's how they describe it. And you play as the immortal prince of the underworld who is trying to break free from the god of the dead. But thankfully, this is not a task you'll have to do alone. You see, as you progress through the dungeons, you'll also come across some of the other gods. And not only will they give you different abilities to help your run, but they also have friendship mechanics, meaning that you'll get to know them every time you encounter them. And the mixture of some really solid roguelike mechanics, plus the incredible story and the writing of each of the gods, made for this to be a fantastic game. So if you're interested in Hades 2, definitely give this a go first. Next up, we have Portal, which is currently under $5. If you had to ask me what the best puzzle game of all time was, it'd have to be Portal and Portal 2, because there is truly nothing else like these games. If you've never heard of Portal before, it essentially uses, well, portal mechanics, allowing you to place 2 portals down and travel between them instantly. And the developers have really used these mechanics to the max to make for some incredible puzzle solving. But the thing that takes Portal from being a great game to a fantastic one is a story that will keep you coming back for more more. And I'm pretty sure when I first played Portal, I finished it in just 2 days. I could not put it down. Next up, we have Loddlenaut, another game that's under $10 right now. And if you're looking for a game that's sort of mindless in the best way, then this is the game for you, as this is all about cleaning up and restoring the ocean, where you not only get to pick up trash and clean up the gloop, but you'll also get to raise these adorable aquatic creatures called Loddles. And despite the fact that it's underwater, this is really a peaceful game. And the fact that the Switch controls are fantastic really adds to this being a relaxing experience. And I love the fact that you can use all of the items that you recycle to upgrade your equipment so you can make it further and explore more of the ocean. Next up, we have Slime Rancher, again under $10. And if you're sick of farming sims but love the vibes, then this will be the game for you, as this is effectively a slime farming sim. As instead of raising crops, you're going to be raising a cute little army of slimes. Now, much like farming sims, a large part of this game is exploration, as you'll need to not only run around to find different slime breeds, but you'll also need to find resources so you can not only make enclosures for them, but also keep them fed. But the reason that you do all of this is because the slimes make a byproduct called plorts. And you can sell these for money to then upgrade your equipment and explore more of the island, and also uncover a little bit more of the story. I really hope Slime Rancher 2 is something that comes to the Switch too, as it is such an upgrade from the original, but I still love this game, especially for this price. Next up, we have Wylde Flowers, and although it's a bit more on the expensive side compared to some of the games on this list, it is still fantastic. And thanks to a bunch of free updates, this has a ton of content to it. And if you're someone in need of a cozy game that's a little bit more story focused, then this will be for you. As this follows a girl named Tara, who, after being fired from her job, dumped by her boyfriend, decides to move to this small town to take care of her grandmother. The only thing is, after a couple of days of adjusting to farming life, she finds out that much like her grandmother, she is a witch. So not only does she have to get to grips with starting life in a brand new town and learning how to be a farmer, she also has to navigate being a witch. Now, I'm a little bit biased when it comes to Wylde Flowers, as this helped me out when I was in such a tough spot and really helped me get through it. But I truly think that this is a farming sim unlike anything else. And the fact that every single one of the characters is voice acted really takes this story to another level and made me care about farming sim villagers in a way I haven't in any other game. So if you haven't given it a go, I thoroughly recommend it. Our final game on today's list is Let's Build a Zoo. Now, this is a more stripped down version of a zoo tycoon, but just because it's a bit more simplistic doesn't mean there isn't plenty to do, as you'll have over 500 different animals at your disposal. And it's your job to not only keep them happy, but also your visitors as well, as at the end of the day, you'll need to make money to keep your animals fed. And you'll be in control of literally everything that happens in the park, from what your animals eat to each of the employees that you hire and what they do. You'll also be able to breed some of the animals, including crossbreeding different types of animal to make your very own species. And every now and again, the game is going to give you a moral dilemma, where it's up to you whether you decide to stay above board or start breaking some laws. And the decisions you make will determine what items and what buildings can be placed in your zoo. This is such a unique take on what it means to be a zoo management game, and even though I haven't talked about it in what feels like years, it is still a game that sticks out in my mind. That's it for all of my top picks on this Nintendo Switch eShop sale, and if you want to see my first hands-on experience with the Switch 2, click this video here.